Welcome to the Build Your Life Coaching Biz podcast, where you get to learn how to become a professional life coach and start an online coaching business from scratch. I'm your host, Krista Kathleen, a professional certified coach and spiritual business mentor. In 2016, I got divorced and left my full-time job as a registered nurse and decided to bravely answer my calling of becoming a life coach so I could help to change lives as I traveled around the world. And now I want to help you discover your purpose too. Having the freedom and flexibility to be your own boss and make as much money as you want right from your laptop will be one of the best gifts you ever give to yourself, your family, and the world. In these episodes, I'll give you real coaching combined with proven strategies and spiritual practices in order to help build your dream coaching business that feels perfect for you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. I am driving home from my 4th Freedom Friday trip this summer, where I take 24 hours to just go travel wherever I want. Right now, it's just been road trips of places that are like 3 to 4 hours away from St. Louis. And I went to Columbia, Missouri. And this is where I went to college at the University of Missouri, where I went to nursing school. And I was in a sorority, Kappa Delta. And so I just thought it'd be really fun to go back. I hadn't been back in a while, and I had dinner with 2 of my sorority sisters and just walked around the campus. And it was like really neat to be back and kind of just assess like how much had changed in the past 15 years for me. And I would like look at buildings on the campus and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I remember when that was new and that was new. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, now it's 15 years old, which is like, how does that even happen? And then like memories that I had completely forgotten about, we were talking about and bringing them up at dinner. And it was just so like nourishing for my soul. And then one of my sorority sisters, we were in nursing school together, and she was telling me about this report. I guess we had to do, like, when we did our OB rotation, we had to do like a presentation, I guess, on something related to pregnancy and maternal health care. And I did a report on like drinking habits with pregnant women around the world, apparently. I didn't even remember that she was telling me this. And then she said that I had to do, she's like, yeah, I remember the instructor telling you like you had to do the whole report over again because you didn't even take in consideration like fetal alcohol syndrome, but you were just reporting on how like it's more acceptable in other countries, like in Europe, for women to consume alcohol or for doctors to tell them that it's okay. And I was like, oh yeah, that totally sounds like something that I would do, like a presentation on. So it was just fun. It was really fun. And I'm driving back to St. Louis now and thought I'm going to kill some time and record a podcast episode because you can't do really much of anything else in the car. And I just don't feel like listening to music or listening to a podcast or audiobook quite yet. So while we were in coach training class this week, someone had brought up the question of how do I know when it's time to start charging for my coaching? So in the Born to Coach Training Academy, which is what I teach and lead every week for my students, we're in semester 2 right now. And so we have 2 semesters, and semester 1 is teaching you how to become a really great and confident coach using the ICF Code of Ethics and ICF core competencies and teaching the essential coaching skills to structure a professional coaching session. And then semester 2 is all about the business side of it. So last week, I just taught the students our 7-step discovery call process. And then we reviewed the information this week because there's a lot of information in there. And so, yeah, during our class time, one of the students was asking about, a lot of the students are starting to ask for pro bono clients right now as a way to, get their confidence up and be able to practice coaching people outside the program. And so yeah, she's wondering, how do I know when it's time to start charging? So I thought it'd be cool to talk about the topic today, because I'm sure a lot of you are wondering that yourself. And maybe you've already started coaching people, or maybe you're thinking about coaching people. But I definitely have some useful and good tips to share with you here to guide you along this process. And I guess where I want to begin is saying, I don't know if you're feeling shame around working with like free paying or pro bono clients, but I want to say that there's no shame in not charging for your coaching right away. And I feel like a lot of coaches put too much pressure on themselves to start charging really high end prices when half the time, you don't really know what you're doing yet. And it doesn't feel ethical. It doesn't feel in alignment. And I just want to say that in, the therapy world, from what I've heard, because I haven't gone to therapy school, but from what I've heard is that therapists have to do about 3,000 practicum hours with therapy before they can start charging and getting paid to receive their services. Now, that's a lot. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that amount of hours, but I do think that there does need to be a certain amount of hours that you do for free, because the value in that is getting a safe space to learn and practice. And I mean, I had to even do that in nursing school. I mean, I was paying to learn, right? So I was not getting paid to be a nurse for the first couple of years that I was a nurse. And that's how it is with most professions. And so I don't know why in the life coaching world we think that like we don't have to go to school, we don't have to get any training, and we just have to like wake up one day knowing how to do this profession. And then on top of that, we have to like start charging like thousands of dollars for our coaching package. And it's just all whack and backwards and crazy. Yeah. So who even knows how this ended up happening this way? So if you are wanting to start out with creating practice clients and you're like, I can't even begin to think about charging yet, that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Or if you're like, no, I want to start charging like $50 a session or create an intro rate package right away, and I want to get paid to learn, you can do that too. There's so much freedom, so much flexibility in the life coaching world. We're not regulated yet. I do think it is coming. I have a strong hunch it's coming. But as of right now, we're not regulated. So there's lots of freedom. And this is where you get to really tap in and decide what feels best for you, what works best for you. Like for me, I don't know if this is a good example or not, but I'm going to share. But like someday I would love to have someone like be paying me $100,000 to be my private client. But I'm just not there yet right now. And I'm not going to put pressure on myself to be there yet. And I'm the kind of person that I like to take, like I don't really like to jump into the cold water and just get it over with. Like I'm like, let's put one toe in and the next toe in and take baby steps. And I'm the same way in my business. And so I like to start out at asking for a price that feels really expansive in my body. It feels, I can feel confident saying it out loud. And then as like I am starting to sell more and more of those spots and I'm getting more demand, then I can start raising the price. Like that's how I like to do things. And I want to do things at my own pace. I don't want anyone out there telling me like, Krista, you're not a good coach unless you're charging $100,000 for your coaching package. Like I'm not going to subscribe to that. So just, permission here to take this at your own pace. And so what I was telling the student is that like, you will truly know and feel inside when it's time to start charging. I see it happen all the time with my personal clients and my students where they'll do like trade work or pro bono work. And then all of a sudden they're like, man, there's just something about this that doesn't feel right anymore. Like I feel like I need to be getting paid for my time, my energy, my skills. And I'm like, okay, beautiful. Like you got the internal, like, let's do this. Let's move forward. It's time to start putting a price tag. And it doesn't even have to be a huge amount. Like sometimes some of my students will like charge $10 or $25, and it doesn't even like matter what the money amount is. They're like, I just want to practice receiving money. I want to get in the habit of receiving money, and I want to see money show up in my bank account and to start to work with my nervous system and tell my nervous system that that is okay, that it is okay to get paid for my coaching. And I do believe that there is a lot of nervous system regulation that does need to happen when it comes to money and running a coaching business. And so that's why I don't believe in just like jumping into the deep end and um, like putting pressure on ourselves. Like it really needs to be a process, and in a process that works for us. And again, some are going to move faster than others, but that's one of my favorite things to help coach my students and clients around is just really figuring out what feels best for them, what works for them. And again, it's not even really so much about the dollar amount, it's the energy behind it. Because when you get on that sales call or that discovery call and you're representing your offer and you're standing behind it and you're saying like, this is how I'm going to serve you, and this is what's included in my coaching package, and this is what the price costs, like that person in front of you is trusting you that everything you're deciding for your business is in their highest good and for their benefit, and then in your highest good as well. And so they're just like really leaning, I don't even think they know it, but they're really like leaning and feeling into your energy and going off of that. And again, like they just want results, and they know, like people know, like it's going to cost money to do business. Like that's, sometimes it makes me laugh because people are like, oh man, like, is it okay to charge for my coaching? And this feels so wrong and bad. I feel like imposter. I'm like, dude, like you're running a business. Like that's what we do in this world. We provide a service for someone in exchange for money most of the time. There's nothing weird or taboo or wrong or sketchy or slimy or scammy about that. It's just how we do business in this world. I don't know why it makes me laugh, but it does. What I heard someone say one time though is when we are doing business and it does feel like we're being like a used car salesman or we are being slimy or scammy, that a lot of times it could be that we're trying to sell something that we don't believe in. Right? So I'm just going to let you guys sit with that for a moment. So if like you're trying to sell your coaching or you're trying to sell something right now and you feel icky, you feel slimy, that's definitely something to look deeper into, because you're probably telling yourself some stories or you're having some thoughts or feelings like maybe you're ashamed around life coaching, or you don't believe in it, or you don't think it works. And then if you're trying to sell something that you don't think it works, yeah, that's when it feels really bad. But if you're selling something that you 100% believe in and you use yourself and you've seen the results on yourself and you've seen the results that you're able to create for other people, like it's going to be so much easier to sell whatever you're selling, because people will lean into that and they will feel that radiating out of you. That's a big reason why for this upcoming cohort, for the fall Born to Coach Training Academy cohort of 2023, I hired on my first support coach. Her name's Valerie. She is a past graduate of the Born to Coach Training Academy. She's an amazing coach, and she's going to provide private coaching sessions for all the students in the academy, because what I've been finding out is that a lot of people who decide to become life coaches have never worked with a life coach themselves. And I think eventually you do need to work with your own private life coach to really understand what it feels like to receive the coaching. And because there's always going to be things in our life that we want to work towards or create or change. But I've just been noticing that the life coaches that work with their own coaches are a lot more successful with finding clients and selling their coaching because they believe in it more. And they can speak to the testimonials and the results that they've created themselves through coaching. And that was why I worked with a life coach, with a private life coach for a year. And that's why I was like so excited to become a coach, because I was like, holy cow, I have never had anything like this make such an impact on my life before. And I love the person that I'm becoming, and I feel happier and I'm more confident. And I was like, I want to do this work. Right. And so that is what motivated me to go to coach training school, and then wanting to work with my own coaching clients. And so yeah, now I'm really, really excited to be able to offer that to my students, that yeah, not only do you get to train, with the best of the best and learn how to be an excellent transformative coach, but you also get to have your own life coach in the program that you get to work with as well to improve your life. And again, just really understand what it's like to be a life coaching client, and that's going to help you sell your coaching even more. So yeah, I feel like I got off on a little bit of a tangent here. But okay, so going back to how do you know when it's time to start charging is, so just trust yourself that if it feels better to offer coaching for free right now or do trade work, let yourself start there. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, like, don't make it feel weird or shameful, because in most professions, you have to do hundreds of hours, even sometimes thousands of hours of practicum hours before you can get paid, right? So you can get your skill set refined and truly feel like you know what you're doing, be competent at what you're doing. And then from there, right, you're going to start to notice a shift inside of you of like, this isn't feeling aligned anymore to do this for free. Like, I think it's time to start getting paid. And then I have a little trick that I want to share with you here that works really well. So your clients like to know what to expect ahead of time. A lot of times people don't want to be working with you for free, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, by the way, now it's going to start costing money. Like, that just doesn't feel good for most people. And so what I would recommend is, like, if you want to transition like a pro bono client into a paying client, is to offer someone like a month free of coaching, or 3 months free of coaching. I wouldn't do longer than 3 months. Like, maybe do anywhere from 1 to 3 months of like complimentary coaching. And then when you're on the sales call with them, because you always want to do a sales call, even if someone's not paying you, you want to do some kind of sales conversation with them to determine, is there that coach client compatibility? And sorry, I just saw a truck driving by with all these horses in it. Is there a coach client compatibility? And then, right, you're going to share like the details of your coaching package. And I always say that there's so much that goes into a coaching contract and a coaching relationship beyond the price. Also there's the coach's responsibilities, there's the client's responsibilities. So if you're going to be working with someone long term, like if you're just going to do a session or two with someone, like, you don't really need to do a consult. But if you're going to be working with someone like a month or longer, you do want to get on the phone with them and explain what your process is and how everything works and that. And oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, you guys, you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna roll with it. Let's see. Hold on. What was I talking about? So we're getting on. Oh, okay. How to transition from a pro bono to a paying coaching client. So you let them know what to expect ahead of time. So you could say something like this of like, I'm a new coach in training, or I recently started my coaching business, and I am working on refining my coaching skill set. And I would love to, just be transparent and upfront. You don't have to hide it. And I would love to offer you, 3 months of complimentary coaching with me. And then after the three, and I'd love to serve and help you in this way, and, put in whatever their goals are working on. Don't like focus too much on yourself that you're a newbie or a beginner. You really don't need to put the focus on you. The focus needs to be on your client, really, and that's just with any situation. So focus more on how you can help them, what it is that they want to create, and then you can say, at the end of the 3 months, if I have a spot open and if you want to keep working together, I would love to talk about creating a paid coaching relationship, and this is what my price would be, and we would keep working together for another 3 months or 6 months or whatever your coaching package is to help you keep making progress on your goals. But just like being upfront and honest about that in the beginning, it lets them really relax and know what to expect, and it creates that trust. And then it's great for you too, because you have boundaries around it, and you don't feel like, oh, I have to offer this person coaching for free forever, and you have a plan, and it just feels really nice for both parties. So okay, I'm going to just quickly review that again. So you'll get on the sales call, and it'll be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, however long you want to do your sales calls. I do 30-minute sales calls, or you can call it a discovery call or disco chat or coffee chat, or people have all kinds of different names for sales calls. And you tell the person that I am a new coach in training, and I would love to offer you a complimentary 1 month or 3 month coaching package where I can help you in this way, explain how you would help them. And then at the end of our time together, if I still have a spot open and you would like to continue working together, I would love to talk about creating a paid coaching relationship together. And, this is what my intro rate pricing would be. Just explain all the details. And then, you'd say, is that something you would be open to? Is that something to be interested in? And then if they're like, yeah, cool, that sounds great, then you're good to go with moving forward and knowing that you're going to serve them for free for a certain amount of time, and that you have the okay to move into that paid conversation whenever your time is done. And I actually have a real life example of how this worked out really well for me in my business, where I was I had been running my YouTube channel for a couple years on my own, and I had a woman named Kelly who I met in my coach training program who was helping me to create my website. And she had this friend named Liz who was starting a new like YouTube strategy business. She's just, the way Kelly was explaining it, she's like, my friend Liz is just obsessed with YouTube, and she really wants to help people like manage their YouTube channels and help them to grow their channels and use it to bring in more money and more clients. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm listening. That sounds fascinating. And she's like, Liz is going to be offering a certain amount of months for free with her clients as she builds her business up. And then after that, you guys could talk about working together longer term and having to be a paid relationship. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'd be open to that. So I met with Liz, and Liz like pretty much gave me that same speech. And she said, this is a new business for me. This is why I'm super passionate about helping people with their YouTube channels. And she checked out my YouTube channel before, and she's like, I'd love to, see what I can do with your channel, and see if I can help you to grow your subscribers, and help you strategize different like titles that you can do that are SEO friendly and all that. And she's like, and I'll do it free for you for the next 3 months. And then from there, this is, she was like, it would be like $200 a month, that we keep working together. And this is what I would do for you. And I was like, perfect, done, let's do it. And it just felt so good for me because she was so honest about it. And I felt really safe, and I felt like, what do I have to lose? And I also felt like I have a choice, that at the end of the 3 months that I could always say no. And so the 3 months came, and I was really impressed with the work that she did. I really enjoyed having her on my team. And it just felt so nice that, like, things that I was worried about with the channel that I knew needed done, but I didn't want to do it myself, that she was taking care of. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. I want to hire you onto the team. And she still is on my team to this day. I think we've been working together like maybe like 3 years now. I'm still paying her, and she's doing an amazing job of growing my YouTube channel. And every day my subscribers are growing, and my watch time is increasing, and I'm having more and more people find me on YouTube. And now my like life coaching videos are like at the top of the search rank when people are searching for life coaching videos. So it was just such a great and empowering experience on my end. And there was no part of it that felt slimy or icky. And I just really loved how it was done. So that's why I always teach this to life coaches as well, that if it doesn't feel good for you to start, charging right away, like, this is such a good way to ease into working with pro bono clients, and then building up your case studies and getting your referrals and testimonials. And then you can move into a paid relationship. Now, maybe you don't like this process. You don't have to use it. You might find something else that works, but I just wanted to share with you about a proven method that for me personally feels really good. Now, I'm at a point in my coaching career where I'm not going to offer someone 3 months of working with me before they would start paying me, because I've had so many clients now over the years, and I have so many referrals, and, I know what I'm doing. I know that my coaching works, that I'll do a sample coaching session with someone if they want to experience what coaching is like, and to see if we have like a good fit together. But then beyond that, I have my boundaries of like, yeah, we can work together, or not, or you can go find someone else, and that feels good for me. And I've been doing that for years, and it works. So, all right. I believe that is all I have for you guys today on how to know when it's time to start charging for your coaching. And I'm really excited that you're listening to this, and that you're either maybe at that point where you're ready to start receiving money for your coaching. And just so you know too, that there's always opportunities to dive more into your relationship around money, right? Just working with mindset beliefs, limiting beliefs, energetic blockages. I love supporting my students and my clients around money stuff, because really it should be a very neutral business decision when you're deciding what to charge and asking for the price. So if there's a lot coming up for you around money right now, and you're just feeling a lot of emotions, and a lot of different emotional charges, like, that's okay. That's how it was for me in the beginning of my coaching business. And it's just, such a good opportunity to work with a coach or a therapist and go deeper and see what's lingering. And I always say that starting your own life coaching business is one of the best personal development courses you'll ever take. because you are kind of forced to look at that stuff. You can't ignore it. I mean, if you keep ignoring it, you're not going to make money because you're not going to feel good putting a price tag on your services. And so I promise you that if you do the work, if you do the shadow work around money, that you can get to a place where you can hop on a sales call and you can feel very just calm and confident and neutral when you say your price out loud, and that it's not a big deal and you're not doing anything wrong. You're not a bad person. It doesn't mean you're any less spiritual. Like, I remember when I started on the sales team for the coach training program that I was working for, and their program was $10,000. And so I basically had to sell their program for them. And I remember, like, I would just feel so sick to my stomach. Like, once on the sales call, we would get to the part of, okay, this is what the program costs. And I would like get off the call and my whole body would be like shaking. And I remember when Kyle and I were dating at the time, he would like come over to my house for lunch, and I would be like, sometimes I'd be crying and he's like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I just had a really hard sales call and there was lots of objections and they said that they couldn't afford it." And it like really rattled me. And again, I just had to go through a lot of nervous system regulation, with getting comfortable with saying that amount out loud. Like, at the time, that just felt like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm selling something for this much money. And even though I paid for that when I went through coach training, it was really scary, and it was a lot. And it for me personally, it's taken a lot of years to get to the point now. I mean, like, I'm on, you know, 3 to 4 sales calls, like almost 3 times a week, and or 3 days a week. And I, get on the phone with people. I'm like, yeah, here's the Board to Coach Training Academy, and it costs $12,000, and this is what's in the program. Like, it just like rolls off my tongue now. But years ago, I could have never done that. And that's kind of how I'd feel if I was like, oh yeah, I have a 12-month coaching program and it costs $100,000. Like, I like feel like a pit in my stomach when I say that. So that just tells me that I need to do some deeper work. I need to see like what's coming up there, just get curious. And I hope that, like, by me sharing this with all of you today, that it's helping to like normalize some stuff that's maybe going on for you, and knowing that, hopefully seeing my journey and progress, and knowing that you can get to this place as well, where it can be very easy and simple and neutral for you to say, like, this is who I am, and this is what I offer, and this is how I can help you, and this is what it costs. And it just doesn't have to be like a big deal. And it's just practice, like anything. The more you practice it, the easier it gets too. And we have a coaching skills lab in the Born to Coach Training Academy, and we do it. It's a 2-hour lab. We do it 3 Saturday, or we do it switches off between the spring and fall cohort, but like 3 weekends out of the month. And I have the students practice saying their coaching program out loud to a practice partner in breakout rooms. And then you practice saying your price out loud. And then I give them different like body exercises to do while they're talking about their coaching program and while they're saying their price, as a way to stay safe in their body and regulate their nervous system, and start to teach their nervous system that, it's safe and it's okay to do what I'm doing, and I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not a bad person. So my students find that really helpful as well, to go through those practices and exercises. So I would recommend for you guys to be able to practice that as well. Hopefully you can someday join the Born to Coach Training Academy and you'll get to practice this with us. But if you don't, decide to join, that you can practice this somewhere, because I do believe that this is what's necessary in order to become a really great salesperson, and to confidently and comfortably be able to sell your coaching package and believe that it is okay to sell your coaching to others. All right. I think that's it. I think we're good. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. And remember, if you have a question or a message you want to send to me, just use the little link in the show notes. I would love to hear from you. And hopefully you consider joining us for an upcoming Born to Coach Training Academy cohort so we can help you to practice selling your coaching, and then you can actually start making money and helping change people's lives and get paid to do the work you love, because I truly believe that there is no better way to live on this earth than feeling fulfilled with your career and getting paid to live your purpose out loud. All right, love you all, and I'll see you in the next episode.
I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed at this time. And if you're ready to up-level your coaching skill set and learn how to confidently coach at the transformational PCC level in order to help your clients get bigger breakthroughs and better results, then join our Born to Coach Training Academy at buildyourlifecoachingbiz.com/certification.